So hey guys, this is your favorite tech YouTuber Vidukant, and I have my coffee right now. By the way, this is a pretty cool Starbucks mug. It was expensive as shit. I'm getting reflections right here. Let me just do this better. Okay, so I will be using Linode to set up my email server. I will be using Postfix and Dovecot and OpenDKIM for my email server. And so let's get to it. So what we're gonna do is go to the Linode dashboard and click on create Linode. I'm gonna be using Debian 11, it's already selected. For the region, anything is fine. I'm choosing Mumbai because it's in India and I am in India. Actually, any region is fine. Let me do Singapore. Okay, it doesn't really matter. But the thing is that if most of your users are in India, it's better to keep the server in India. It will be faster. And I'm gonna use shared CPU and Nano. This is the cheapest plan, and it's actually more than enough for a personal email server. So I'm gonna select the Nano 1 GB plan on Linode. It's about $5 per month. Okay, and Linode label, you can enter anything. Mail server tutorial, add tags. It doesn't matter, I'm just doing this. Root password. Actually, I highly recommend using a strong root password, but because this is just a test server, I'm just gonna use this. It says strength is good, but I don't think that the strength is good of this password. I recommend using like at least a 32 character password. You wanna log in to your server with SSH. I already have an SSH key. If you don't, what you wanna do is create a new SSH key and then cat.ssh and whatever your SSH key is .pub, and you wanna copy this. Actually, Linux try just xl-b and it's copied and paste it here, but I have already added it, so I'm just gonna select it, add SSH key. Oh no, I'm just gonna select it, and yeah, no need for private IP, no need for backups, and yeah, that's it. Create Linode. Most VPS providers actually block the SMTP port, which is port 25. So you actually wanna ask the Linode guys to unblock the port 25. They just do it because some bot accounts keep sending spam emails from their server. They just block sending of emails by default. So Linode has a guide about running an email server, and in this they're saying in an effort to fight spam blah blah blah, they have blocked the port 25. So if you're hosting a new server, you will have to ask them that, hey guys, please open the port 25 on my server. So what you want to do is click on open a support ticket. This link is in the description, and you just want to open a support ticket and title, please enable port 25 on my server, and it's regarding Linodes. I think select Linode mail server dash tutorial. Okay, I just did this and open ticket, and this should reply pretty quickly. So while that thing is processing, let's do other things. So my domain name is actually weebdevelopers.xyz, and this is Linode's DNS editor. If using Namecheap, the steps are basically the same. So I'm gonna copy the IP address of my web server, which is on my second monitor, and I'm gonna click on a record. This will be at, and IP address will be this TTL. Let's set it to 30. Okay, and then we're gonna add another a record, which will be mail, and IP address is this, and TTL is 30. So the mail subdomain is will be used for SMTP and IMAP and POP. So our mail server will basically be running on this mail subdomain. Okay, so this is my server's IP address. Let's save this, and let's also add the IPv6 addresses, which is at for good. And these are the chord records. Mail TTL is 30. Okay, so this should take some time to propagate. Now the mail subdomain will be used to access the Postfix server and the Dovecot server for reading and sending mails and stuff. So you can use any subdomain you want. You can do like whatever your domain name is. On my main domain name, which I use for my email, I have set M as the subdomain, not mail, because I like this. For Nextcloud, it's NC, so it's kind of short, and I like this. So basically, when others will see weebdevelopers.xyz and nothing else, but while logging in, you will need to enter mail.videocon.xyz as the server name. So we're gonna set an Amex record. For the Amex record, the mail server will be mail.weebdevelopers.xyz. And note for the people who wanna use one mail server for multiple domains, in the other domains, Amex records, you wanna enter the same thing, mail.weebdevelopers.xyz. Subdomain can be blank, the TTL will be 30, and preference can be anything. If you have only one server, it doesn't really matter. And just keep in mind that if you wanna add another domain to your mail server, the other mail server's Amex record should be this. And notice this is mail.weebdevelopers.xyz because in the A and chord records we added mail. Okay, we're all set up. On the DNS side, everything is set up. We will be adding some TXT records later on, not in this video, in the next video, because I decided that the video would become too long. Okay, so now that we have set up our DNS records, what you want to do is go to your Linode section on Linode's website or whatever hosting company you are using, and go to your server. This is mail server tutorial that we are setting up right now. Go to the network tab on Linode. You have to find this, and then we want to locate the IPv6 of this server, which is right here in the IP addresses table thing. This is 240.0.8.9.0.1, so it's the same as here. And what you want to do is click on edit RDNS, and the domain name will be your domain name for this server, which will be weebdevelopers.xyz. Save this, and now we have configured our server for reverse DNS. So now we can get to setting up our server. So I'm just gonna open a terminal and make sure I've loaded the SSH keys, and you wanna do SSH root at weebdevelopers.xyz and or whatever your IP address or domain name is, and permission denied. Actually, the DNS records will take some time to propagate. Until then, I am just gonna do SSH root at the IP address, enter the wrong password. Okay, so now we are in our new server. So we need to do some basic setup like sudo and update.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know.
Okay, so we have upgraded our server. So first thing we wanna do is, after upgrading our system, we wanna set up the firewall. So UFW status. UFW is actually not installed. I thought it actually came installed on Debian. Seems like that's not the case. UFW status. You wanna do UFW default deny incoming. and UFW allow in HTTP. I think that's TCP. Actually, I'm just gonna do 80 and 470. What was it? Let's just do 80 and 22 right now. 80 UFW allow 80. Okay, UFW allow 22. You have to enable. Yes. UFW number. Okay, so it's allowing port 80 and 2022 from anywhere, and by default it will actually block all the other connections. So 22 is for SSH and 80 is for HTTP. So now Linode actually has a really good tutorial on how to host a mail server, and I am going to follow this because Postfix configuration is slightly complicated. It's not actually complicated, but there are many things you have to care about. So I am just gonna follow this, and I'm basically turning this tutorial into a video. But before anyone says that I just copied their tutorial, no, I am actually giving more tips and turning this into a video, which is mostly easier for many people to follow. Okay, so this is the tutorial: configuring an email server, Postfix, Dovecot, MySQL on Debian and Ubuntu. So this actually works on Debian 11. So after we have set up the UFW, we actually need to enable some other things like verify that the IP tables firewall is not blocking any of the standard mail ports, which are 25, 465 and such. So what I will do is UFW allow 25, 465, 587. You just have to allow all these ports, and 110, which is actually insecure, 995 for IMAP, 143, which is also for something but it's insecure, and 993 for POP. I think 995 is actually for the post office protocol, and 993 is IMAP. So whatever, I have allowed all these ports in UFW. Okay, so you have to run these commands. So if you look at UFW numbered, it's allowing 80, 22, 25, 465 and such. And if you wanna host a website on this server, you need to set up Nginx, and I'm not gonna do it. So you will actually have to allow HTTPS, which I won't be doing. If you wanna host webmail, you still need Nginx or something like that. So you will need to allow HTTPS. I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I might just block 80 later, but I think I need it right now. Okay, so UFW is working, and now we have to set up our DNS. Okay, and update the host file. We're gonna look at HC hosts, and the public IP of the server is this, and this will be mail.weave developers xyz mail. Okay, clear the screen. Install an SSL certificate. This is my favorite part. So what you have to do is sudo apt install certbot certbot-d mail dot. It can be whatever your domain, whatever your domain is. Mine is this. Certbot doesn't know how to automatically. Okay, I actually do need Nginx. So okay, I'm just gonna do certbot cert only -d because you don't want a web server on this. You can have a web server on this, but I'm not gonna do it because it's useless. And place files in webgood, spin up a temporary, I'm just gonna do spin up a temporary web server, and it wants an email address. So if some certificate is going to expire, it will send you an email. So I'm just gonna, this is my other mail server. Okay, and yeah, I think I have, and no, okay, I'm not gonna share my data. So okay, congratulations, your certificate chain have been saved at this. So I'm just gonna copy this and open path.txt on my laptop. This is on my laptop. This is not an SSH window. This is an SSH window. So I've saved these paths at let's encrypt live mail.vdevelopers.xyz / fullchain.pem and privkey.pem. We need these paths, these full paths later on. So now we have set up the firewall, set up the DNS records for the mail server, and we have created an SSL certificate just for our mail server. Okay, so install packages. What are the install? Oh yeah, now we are going to install our mail server. Okay, so apt install MySQL server has no installation candidate. I'm just gonna do MariaDB.-server. I don't know why they added MySQL server when it can be installed on Debian, but that's no problem. MariaDB is actually free and open source software. And in this Postfix configuration thing, you want to select internet site. System mail name will be, this name will also be used by, should be single, fully qualified. Okay, so in the system mail name, you wanna delete everything and enter your domain name. You just want your domain name, not any subdomain. So it is vdevelopers.xyz, not www.vdevelopers.xyz or mail.vdevelopers.xyz. We're gonna hit OK. It's on installing the stuff. Okay, so we can skip this. So now we have installed everything, and yeah, we wanna set up MariaDB, MySQL secure installation, enter gun password. Okay, switch to Unix socket. You can safely answer n. It says you can safely answer n, so I'm gonna say n production environment. Remove anonymous users, I'm gonna do yes. Disallow root login, I'm gonna do yes. Remove test database, I'm gonna do yes. Reload privilege tables, yes. Now we have installed our database. So I'm log into MySQL as a root user. Okay, we're gonna do this and create a new database. Create database mail server. Okay, so mail server will have all the user accounts and some of the configuration and stuff. And create user mail user at, okay, you just want to copy these commands. Create database mail server. Did I do that? Create database exists. Okay, now we have created the mail user. When we were setting up our database, there was this command, create user mail user at localhost identified by password. When we were in the MySQL prompt, so we ran this command. So identified by, in these codes you should enter a password and remember that password. Postfix and Dovecot will use this particular password to access the database. You don't want other applications to read the mail server database, so the mail user needs a strong password. I just used password like this. You should change that thing. Flush privileges. And there are no tables right now. You wanna create tables, so you just wanna copy these commands: create table, virtual domains. These are the virtual domains. You can set up all your domains right here, whichever domains you wanna use with the mail server. Virtual users are your users. You can enter email IDs there. You can enter the full email ID, password, and the domain it uses, and things like that. And virtual aliases are aliases for email addresses. If the server say receives an email on this email ID, it can forward it to another account. So there can be one inbox for 2 incoming addresses, or 2 or more incoming addresses, which is kind of cool. That's handled with email aliases. And insert into mail server. Okay, so we're just gonna add our domains. So here I'm gonna do vdev. Okay, so vdevelopers.xyz. If you have another domain, let's just do mikunonaka.net. It is not going to work because I won't change my DNS records, because it takes some time for them to update and it will mess up my server. But if you have more than one domain, you want to insert into mail server.virtualdomains values mikunonaka.net, and on the mikunonaka.net or whatever domain you have to do similar setup. The MX record should be exactly the same as the other one. So I've done this. Now if we do, I can't type. You can see we have 2 virtual domains. One of them is not going to work because it's not configured properly. But if you configure the DNS records properly, you can send and receive emails from both of these domains you enter here. Okay, so then we have okay, this is the command to see what domains you have. Okay, adding an email address. So we're gonna copy this. So when you wanna create a new account, you actually no longer can encrypt and decrypt the password automatically using SQL. So you wanna encrypt the password, not encrypt whatever, hash the password using this shell command, and then save the hash password on the database. So let's say your password is okay, this is my password. Okay, so now this is our SHA-512 hash for this password. So I'm gonna copy this, and you wanna let me zoom in. So this is our password hash. You wanna ignore this part and start from the $6 part and copy this. Then log back into sudo mysql, and now we can do, actually let's also save this. pass.txt, this is our password, and inside this you want to copy this, insert into mail server.virtual users domain ID, password, email. Actually before I run this command, I wanna show something. So if we do select all from virtual domains, why do I keep killing this? Use mail server, and if I select this, it shows these 2 domains, and each domain has an ID. So when you wanna add a new user, you wanna paste this command, and inside the domain ID you wanna enter the corresponding ID for the domain you wanna use. So if I want this email address to be on mikunonaka.net, here I will enter 2. but I want this email address to be on weebdevelopers.xyz, so I'm gonna use one. I will later show my other users table, the virtual domains table on my main server, so you get the point. So I'm just gonna enter one hash. In the hash, I'm just gonna copy this hash that I was using. Okay, and by the way, I can show this because I'm gonna delete it later anyways. Don't reveal your hash, guys. And the email ID will be, let's do, you can do whatever, test dash account at. So this will be our email address. So the domain ID is 1 because it will send and receive email addresses with this domain, the first domain, and this is the password hash that we created with the shell command earlier, and this is our email address. So now we have added a user. We can add another user. Actually, let me quit, and we're gonna, what was the command? Dov and email. Let's see if we want to add another user on the same domain. Let's use the password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, and copy this and now what we're gonna do is remove this. Now we are gonna be adding our second email address. So the domain ID will be 1 because I wanna add this to the first domain. If you have only one domain name, this will always be 1. The hash is actually different. This is the new hash for our second user's password, and the address will be let's do weebdevelopers.xyz, and I wanted to check if I was recording or not. Okay, so we have created 2 users. Now we can see those users with this command. In the SQL prompt. So these are our 2 users. If I zoom out a bit, you can see the table clearly, but it's too small. So this is the password or the password hash, and this is the email, and this is the domain. So you should get the hang of it. You can use a script or something to execute shell commands automatically. Maybe you can also hash the password automatically using a shell script, but this is fine by me. I have like 2 or 3 email addresses on my server, so I just do it manually. Okay, so we can exit out of the MySQL console thing, and if needed, repeat this process. Same thing if you wanna add multiple emails and adding an alias. Actually, I'm just gonna show this. I don't use this, so we're gonna log back into the mail server database thing. Not database thing, it is a database. Okay, so what? One second. I just wanna copy this and insert into mail server.virtual aliases. So the domain ID will be 1 because I have only one domain. You get the point. And let's do alias head, and this is the alias. So this is the incoming address, and this is the recipient basically. So inside this we will do So now this is the alias address. So if someone sends an email to alias@weebdevelopers.xyz, the user that will receive the email is actually weeb@weebdevelopers.xyz. So this is basically an incoming only address, you can say. The incoming email will be sent to another user, and the user will have to use his only outgoing account to send the email back, that kind of thing. Okay, so you can see the aliases using this command: select all from mail server.virtual aliases. I'm not gonna do this. So now this is kind of the tricky part. This is postfix configuration, and postfix is not very hard to configure, but it's not easy anyways. I mean, most of the things you're gonna do, you just wanna copy paste, because most of the things are really just similar. So we have backed up the file, and what we're gonna do is copy this configuration. Now I personally don't know how to configure postfix that much. Wait a second, let's delete all this, and you can use nano to delete all this. I'm just using vim, and I'm just gonna use the default configuration on Linode, because that's what works for me. It's well enough, because there are a lot of things that postfix has that you really don't need. Okay, so in this thing we're gonna search with /example.com. So I have copied this file into my main.cf and deleted all the old stuff, and I wanna change the example.com to and same thing here. And if we look at the path.txt, we can see it's the same path, fullchain.pem and private key.pem. It's actually the same thing right here. Linode actually was nice enough to add it for us, so we just have to change the example.com thing. So my hostname, just change the occurrences of example.com, and okay, so we have done this. Let's see if I see anything that I need to change. I don't think so. Okay, after setting up the postfix main.cf file, what we're gonna do is basically copy paste, open this file, vim this file, and copy this, and user, I actually didn't copy this properly. So this is the SQL command you wanna use to open the database and read stuff. In the password you wanna do, or whatever password you set up, and you just wanna copy all these files and open this file, vim this, copy this, and in the password again you wanna do, you can replace password with whatever password you set up. I'm just using password because it's extra secure. Again you wanna copy this, okay, last one, okay, and restart postfix with systemctl restart postfix. Okay, now our postfix is running. We can do and finish postfix mail transfer. Okay, postfix is actually running. And testing postfix. Enter the following command to ensure that postfix can query. Okay, you wanna see that it actually can read the database. Basically, it can query the database. So we're gonna use the postmap command, and in queue we're gonna do vdevelopers.xyz. It says 1. It actually says that it can query the database. It says if the command returns 1, it is successful. Similarly, we wanna copy this email1 and example.com. We can use any email address that we have set up. So we and it says 1, which is great. Virtual aliases, same thing. Alias at, if you haven't set up aliases, you can skip this one. And yeah, it says alias at weebdeveloper.xyz, aliases to this. So yeah, this is working. Now the master.cf, we're gonna back up the master.cf config file and open the master.cf config file. Only vim postfix / the etc postfix master.cf file. Okay, and if you read the file, it says smtp inet and y. Actually, according to Linode, you should do and right here, and just copy this. Paste it like this. Summation inet and y. Okay, so this is the configuration you want. Okay, and you wanna set up the permissions for every file in the etc postfix with chmod -r for recursive, and restart postfix. What this ensures is that no one else can read the configuration files, because other applications should not be able to read the configuration files, because like I said earlier, we saved the database password in there, or you should be the postfix user to read these files, which is expected behavior. Now Dovecot actually has a lot of configuration files. So now we have set up our postfix. We're moving to Dovecot, and we're actually just copying this. These commands will just back up all the configuration files. This is optional, but it's okay to keep a backup, I guess. I don't think I do this usually, but it's good practice. So we want open the etc/dovecot/dovecot.com like this. Inside this, you wanna find this protocols d star.protocol, and protocol should be IMAP POP3 and LMTP. Let's see if it is set up. Okay, so you want to set this variable, and it's not set. Postmaster address, okay. So you wanna change example.com with your domain name. By the way, if you're using multiple domain names, you wanna stick to one domain name for all the configuration files. So we're gonna open this file. Inside this mail location, it's actually set right, so you wanna find this. We don't want duplicates in the configuration file. Okay, so this one is what Linode recommends. This one is the default. I'm gonna delete the default. And actually, in the same configuration file, there is mail privilege group, which is mail. Okay, so this is actually already set up. Then you wanna create the var mail host directory, and just this permission things and user groups things. You just want to copy this. It's always convenient to copy these configuration files. You can read this. This is adding a vmail group and giving permissions for these files to the vmail group, so Dovecot can handle saving emails and stuff. That's pretty much it. You don't have to fully understand this. It's better if you do, but and in this file you want to do disable plain text auth, yes. Auth mechanisms, which is plain and login, you want to do this, and that's, and inside this includes, we want to do auth system conf and auth sql.conf. So this configuration file auth system.conf, if I'm not wrong, is the Unix socket authentication configuration file. If you're using MariaDB like me, which I recommend, you wanna uncomment this one which was commented. You uncomment this, and this was actually already there. Now we are done with this particular file. We wanna open the authsql.conf, and inside this passdb driver is SQL. Actually, let's just see. Yeah, this is fine. UserDB driver is static. Args is paste this. Save the file. Then you wanna edit the dovecot sql conf.txt, and driver is SQL, MySQL actually, MySQL, and connect. In the connection you wanna just copy this, actually like this. Password is, you wanna change this to whatever your password is. User is mail user, that's fine. Default password scheme, why do I keep closing this? #5 to crypt, and password query is this. Okay, now add an alias source. Okay, that's fine. This is some extra setup if you wanna log in with an email alias using Thunderbird or something. I'm not gonna do this. Then you wanna change the ownership of all the configuration files, all the read and write permissions, and inside 10 master conf you wanna paste these basically. So in service IMAP login, you wanna do inet listener port 0 and IMAP S. I think this is IMAP secure. Okay, I was actually saying this when we were setting up the firewall, that 143 is actually an insecure port, so we are setting this to 0, and we will only be using the 993, which is a secure port, and SSL is yes, and IMAP is 993. That's fine. Security is POP. Similar thing, POP3 login, port is going to be 0, and the POP3s, the secured one, is going to be 995, and SSL is going to be yes. And similarly inside the master conf, we wanna use service LMTP and Unix listener. We wanna add this. Why is like this? Okay, I think this is enough. Actually, this wasn't enough. Open this file again. Service auth. Inside the service auth block, we wanna add this. And I'm just gonna delete this because it was redundant. And user is going to be Dovecot. Okay, and again in the master conf, this is a long configuration file. Auth worker user is going to be vmail, and inside the 10 SSL conf we wanna do SSL is equal to required. So we're enforcing SSL, which is always great, and SSL certain. These are the certificates we generated with certbot. So and we're gonna restart Dovecot. It actually failed. Failed to start IMAP3 server. Fatal error in configuration file. Line 59. Invalid number 59. Okay, the mode was set 2 times accidentally, and the mode is 0600, not 0600i. Yeah, this is commented. I think I messed it up. Now if we do still an error code. What's it say? Line 12. Can't open file. It cannot open this file. Why is that? vdevelopers.xyz. It's at mail.vdevelopers.xyz. I messed it up. It's mail dot and here too we wanna do in the main CF. We also wanna do mail dot. Okay, so the cert file should be mail.vdeveloper.xyz. I messed up. I didn't copy this properly or something like that. It should work now. Yeah, Dovecot is working. Now we have Dovecot and Postfix working. We should be able to log in to our server and send emails. The emails we send right now will get spammed and stuff. So in my next video I will be covering how to set up SPF and OpenDKIM, not in this video because it's already too long. Okay, so this is Vidukant from the next day, and Linode took some time allowing my server to send and receive emails. I opened a support ticket asking them to allow me to send emails from this server. So now that we have set up our Postfix and Dovecot server, we yet to have set up OpenDKIM and SPF and DMARC, but that will be done in the next video. Those things help your emails not get spammed when they reach other people's inboxes. So first of all, not that we have set up the server, Let's see if it actually works. So on my laptop, I'm gonna open Thunderbird beta, and since I have not logged in, it's asking me to log in. So it's asking for the full name. I'll just do Weeb Developers, and email address. We created 2 email addresses. We're going to be testing both of them. So it's gonna be weebdevelopers.xyz. The password for this one, if I remember correctly, was 1234567 it's actually a extremely secure password. Then we want to click on manual configuration, and we want to set IMAP and mail.weebdevelopers.xyz. Port is going to be 993. Connection security is SSL/TLS. Normal password is the authentication method, and username should be your full email ID. Similarly, in the outgoing server, it's the same, mail.weebdevelopers.xyz. Port is 587 if I remember correctly, and it's SSL/TLS. Actually, it's start TLS, and authentication method is normal password, and then we can hit done. Checking password. Account successfully created. That's great. And I'm gonna skip the Thunderbird setup thing. Now that's great. We have set up our email server. It seems to be working. The login procedure was flawless, as you just saw. This was my first attempt by the way. Let's try to write an email with this. So the two will be, what just happened? The two address will be vidukhan@vidukhan.xyz. Subject will be this is a test email, and let's do just whatever, and let's send this. The message cannot be sent because connecting outgoing server mail. It says the server is refusing SMTP connections. So there was some problem sending emails. So I think it was because of some configuration that needed to be reloaded or something. Basically, I rebooted my server. Okay, so my server has booted up. We can SSH into it. Network is unreachable. It is pinging. Let's try again. Okay, after the restrictions were lifted by Linode, I actually had to restart my server, and now it works. You can see the notification right here. That's kind of good. So if you look at it, I got an email from Weeb Developers, which is weeb@weebdevelopers.xyz, on my another mail server. So it is sending emails to other mail servers, and this didn't go to spam because I don't have spam assassin set up. I might do that later. I might make a video about it, but it's not set up. So I got the email. Let's try replying to it and see if incoming emails actually work. So if I click on reply, and this is reply and send. Let's see if I click on get messages. Okay, I got this email. So our email server is actually working, which is great. So I can send emails to other servers, receive emails from other servers, and let's see if that account is actually working, the other one. So if I try to log in with this, configure manually, and the password was wrong actually. Configure manually, mail 993, and normal password mail 587, start TLS, and normal password done. It's loading. Okay, I was able to log into the other account too. Let's finish this. Now we can use the other account too, and I have to blur all this. And so the two address will be, let's send an email to our other account on the same server. So we add, and subject is going to be test, and let's do whatever and send. Okay, so let's see if we get a notification. We got a notification. This is test and this is the email. So that's great. Our email server is functional, and apart from the errors it was showing before the reboot, it's actually working fine. It can send emails, it can receive emails. So the real question now is we can send emails to our Google account or a Yahoo account. I cannot test that because I don't have a Google account, but I have a Yahoo account. So let's do that. So let's just send to my Yahoo account first. And subject will be this. Okay, send. It's sending. And let's also write to my Proton Mail account. Okay, let's log into Proton Mail. So we can send emails to Proton Mail, and let's see the Yahoo one. And also the Yahoo address. So the server we just set up can send emails to Proton Mail and my other server and Yahoo. So I'm pretty sure it can send emails to Google, but Google is pretty picky about the emails it wants to show. So mostly the emails end up getting spammed. So we're gonna take care of that in the next video. But for now, congratulations. If it works for you, then yeah, you have set up a email server. It's a fully working email server. There is some setup to do, like with SPF, DKIM and DMARC, but right now your email server is basically working. Those are some additional things. At the core, your email server is actually set up. So congrats and thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.